Spacey sins, and we are back with more Code Realize Wintertide Miracles in Sherlock's route. I'm sorry, Herlock's route. Sholmes's route. Whatever. Herlock Sholmes. Sherlock Holmes. And then there's Herlock Holmes in London Detective Mystery. It gets very confusing. Anyway, so we're back in Sholmes's route. So anyway. That was a really bad line to start on, like, just waking up. Oh. Are you awake, Spacey? Sholmes? How precious. Gotta love it. My consciousness slowly drifts back into reality. As my head clears, the first thing I notice is Sholmes's warmth that I can feel even through my clothing. I'm being carried in his arms. It must have been a good 5 seconds before my overslept, cloudy brain processed that fact. I thought I was being careful, figuring I'd wake you if the fabric touched your face, but you were in a deep sleep. Why? Please don't move around too much. It would be terrible if I dropped you. I feel like you should be more worried about accidentally touching my skin. But that's not the point. What's going on? Why am I... Are you... Oh, you don't remember what happened at the music hall. Huh? If I recall, you finished your performance, came back to your seat, and we ate together. Then the people around us couldn't stop talking to us about the performance. And then I got embarrassed and... You were so panicked, you accidentally downed wine rather than juice and passed out. Do you remember now? I don't believe I recall that, no. Only I very much do, and an inescapable embarrassment seeps into me. It was a wonderful place, but I don't think I want to return there for a while. But you could have just woken me up normally. So why are you carrying me like this? Why else? Because I wanted to. I had a feeling you were going to say that. Being careful to keep my skin away from his, I heave a big sigh. But Sholmes, I had no idea you could play the violin. It's part of my gentlemanly etiquette. I take pride in my skill with it. You were really impressive. How fucking adorable his face is right now. I was reading it, I glanced at him, he's like, I'm so proud of myself. You're adorable, I love it. Those words alone make showing you my secret talent all worthwhile. His secret talent. The sun turns more red by the second, dyeing the River Thames in twilight hues. The lonely sunset with its fading shimmer makes it all the more vivid. It stretches out our connected shadow as far as the eye can see. He's so fucking pretty. Morning, noon, evening. This river shows its various faces throughout the day, but if I were to choose my favorite, I think it looks most beautiful during the twilight. I think so too, because looking at the water's surface reminds me of walking here with just the two of us. It's like, reminds me of being here with Lupin. And that one time with Victor. Oh, and that time with Van Helsing. He's like, what, with everybody? Yeah, because I want a man harem, bitch. Jesus. I lightly close my eyes and begin to talk. Just for the romancy moments and the cuddling. That's all. While I was out, I had a dream. It was about when I apologized to Eddie. I see. I can't thank you enough, Sholmes, for loving me, someone cursed with poison, for saving me, someone who bears a sin. It was also thanks to you that I was able to apologize to Eddie back then. I'll accept your gratitude, but the one who made the act happen was you alone. Facing one's sins is painful, and that's coming from me, so you can be certain it's true. You really pulled through, Spacey. Sholmes's words caress my ear. His slight warmth through my clothes feels a little ticklish. Come on, if you pamper me too much, I might just get used to it. He's like, I don't... Okay, right. Look at that. Yes, you will. And then and then you'll have to keep doing it. And I would gladly keep doing it. Ah! This is why anime boys are the best. Anyway, perhaps you will then. I've decided that I'm going to pamper you for the rest of the day. Unless, of course, you don't like it. No, that's not it. His words cause a warmth in me to build. Perhaps it's the beauty of the setting sun that makes my chest feel so restless. I want to bury my face into the chest of my beloved. The fact that I couldn't yet do so is like a dagger in my heart. I'm not heavy, am I? Haven't I told you before? A lady weighs less than a feather. In fact, I personally feel quite lucky. I was able to listen to your sleep talking while you were passed out. Sleep talking? What was I saying? Why are you laughing? I know it's nothing worth mentioning. Most of your sleep talking were phrases that didn't make sense. Although I suppose there were bits and pieces that I was just barely able to make out. Such as? You don't look it, but you're quite bold. Seriously, what did I say? You were dreaming about Eddie, so you didn't say anything too embarrassing. I tried lifting my fist to bop him on the chest. But perhaps due to the alcohol, my body isn't feeling up to the task. Good lord, how much? One glass of wine and you're out? Jesus. That behavior is quite adorable, too. But the alcohol is still in your system, isn't it? You should relax and try to get a bit more sleep. Then maybe I'll close my eyes for a bit longer. It's not like he'll put me down even if I ask, anyway. Besides, I can just sleep through the embarrassment. Thank you, Sholmes. I love you. I don't even want to hear his response. If I did, I'm sure that I'd practically die from embarrassment on the spot. Really? Why? Because he's going to say that he loves you too? Though I get the sense that he's smiling. I close off my vision and hearing and withdraw into dream once more with Sholmes as my Morpheus. Now we're Sholmes. Hearing the quiet sound of her breathing as she sleeps, I can't help but smile. Fast asleep, is she? It's hardly fair to just say that and run away, is it now, Spacey? I take my steps slowly, reluctant to part from this warmth. I mumble quietly. This must be how it feels to hold someone dear. Being forced to live in solitude by her father's command. A monster girl who was deathly afraid of touching others. But who could possibly think of her as a monster seeing her like this? She would emerge from her isolation and smile gently beside me. Every single one of these steps are priceless to us. And that's why I can't give up. That's why I can't let a mere poison steal away this girl's smile. There are ways. Watson and Victor are doing their best to develop a medicine that detoxifies the horologium. So long as it's completed before the horologium becomes active again, all will be well. But if we don't make it in time, if such a scenario should occur, I'd have to... Oh, who's calling? Okay, anyway, I don't know who this is. It can't possibly be Alistair. He's supposed to be dead, but anyway. Hey there. It's been quite some time, hasn't it, Sherlock Holmes? A voice from behind me suddenly taps me on the shoulder. I respond without turning. You're late. It's well past the time we were supposed to meet. Unless you were being courteous and waiting for her to fall asleep. Huh. Well, I'd feel bad if I interrupted. I may not seem the type, but I'm quite the empathetic sort. I can't tell whether or not he's being facetious. He pushes a small bottle into my pocket. Oh my god, please. Well, okay. And the Count of Monte Cristo's elixir. I love how we just keep adding characters. Wait, there is a count in here, another count in here, but I don't think it's supposed to be there's two. And I'm assuming they're in Cantarella's route. You see them in the very beginning. We watched the intro thing once. I've seen them every single time I load the game, but I don't think I'm not gonna be able to pronounce the one guy's name, so it's not the Count of Monte Cristo because I can fucking pronounce that. So The thing you requested. I hope it comes in handy. Thank you. You work quickly as always. I'd rather not even ask what you're using it for. Just be sure to keep this in mind. It's especially potent. I'm well aware of that. Ideally, I won't have to use it at all. This is simply for insurance. Fair enough, smart guy. Of course, a know-it-all like you would be up to speed on things. Indeed, fundamentally, it would be a terrible thing indeed to ever have to use this medicine. Indeed, fundamentally, it would be a terrible thing indeed. I don't think you need indeed in there. Indeed, fundamentally, indeed. It would indeed be a terrible thing indeed to indeed ever have to indeed use this indeed medicine indeed. There you go. I fixed it. Jesus! But I'll do everything in my power. For her sake and my own. Is it like a poison to kill me? Anything to never see cloud her smile. Wait. Anything to never see cloud her smile she graced me with. Okay, figure that one out. Something. You get what it's trying to say, but that is just not. That's like almost gibberish. Anyway. All right. The third wheel will take his leave then. The man's presence behind me slowly fades away. One step, two, and then I hear him stop. She's a very good girl. She is wasted on the likes of you, but take good care of her, Sherlock. How unusual it is for you to say such a thing. Well, I am human after all. I would at least for the happiness of a family member. I would at least for that. Is it supposed to be? Oh, family member. Family member? Sure. Is that Mycroft? Was that Mycroft? Please tell me it was fucking Mycroft. Oh my god, this makes me excited. Anyway. I mean, I don't know if he's in this game, but turning around briefly, I catch a glimpse of his face as he left. Unable to determine whether or not that expression was a smile, I gently speak to her in a quiet voice. You have nothing to worry about, Spacey. Surely I'll... So... Because it's a character I don't know, unless... I wonder if one of our other characters is supposed to be like... Huh. That intrigues me. For a family member, because obviously I don't think you saw like it looked like there was curly hair on it. And that looks like one of our I'm just so curious now. Interesting. Anyway, why must peaceful moments like these pass by so quickly? Just as a poet once compared time with the flow of a river, time can never go backwards. It'll only ever flow forward. Mercilessly forward. I'm home, Sholmes! I've just returned to the agency after having completed the grocery shopping that's become part of my daily routine. I take out all sorts of tools, planning to put things away and tidy up the room. The new mop, a duster, an old cloth, and that should be just about everything. All right, Sholmes, I'm going to start cleaning, so why don't you go over to Watson's for tea in the meantime? But before I can speak my usual cleaning day phrase... Well, wait just a minute now. Preemptively stopping me, he makes a cocky smile. It's always pained me to leave you with the cleaning every time. But I have to earn my keep somehow. Besides, like Watson always says, it would be a waste of time leaving it to Sholmes. Indeed, that's what I'm talking about. It would be quite troublesome if this misunderstanding continues any longer. Misunderstanding? I think it's more like an objective fact. And so today, while you were away, I was sure to clean in your stead. What? She's like, oh dear, it looks worse than when it started. Ignoring my response, Sholmes points across the agency. Documents and newspapers are still piled on the table. Dust still lightly coats the window frames. At a glance, it doesn't look like he's done much of anything. Sounds like my kind of cleaning. So you haven't noticed yet. It would seem that your observational skills could use some work. Why don't you take a closer look at the bookshelf? The books are now in alphabetical order. Oh. I realize it as he points it out. That's organizing, not cleaning. It's different. Or rather, it should be a given that I didn't notice until he pointed it out. But it is in fact true. The bookshelf is nicely organized. But don't feign surprise quite yet, Spacey. For today, I even folded my laundry too. All right. Is that all? Oh, impressive. So you saw right through me. Allow me to take back my remark about your observational skills. Yes, it's precisely as you imagine. Today, I even washed my favorite cup. He sounds like me cleaning. Like he's like, I put a book away, and I washed a cup, and I folded a sock. That's enough chores for today. I mean, I fold my laundry maybe, but I have to, it's the doing it that takes forever. I do it when I run out of socks or underwear, and I got a lot, so I don't run out very often. You're like, I want that shirt. Oh, I guess I can never wear that again. It's dirty for the next year. With his confident declaration, somehow I get the feeling that his idea of housework is quite different from mine. But for Sholmes, this must feel like a life-altering step forward. Hey, every little bit helps. Now you don't have to alphabetize the bookshelf or fold his laundry, which he's a grown man, he should be doing himself anyway. And you don't have to wash his cup. So, woohoo! Wow. You see, I can do it if I try. I simply chose not to up till now. I see. Thank you? I don't have the heart to break it to him, but those tasks are far closer to daily chores than a proper cleanup. It seems that the great detective's common sense differs from that of society. This is hardly a new revelation. But why and how is he so unreliable when it comes to mundane tasks? Because he doesn't need to do them. At any rate, let me stop you there. Since you cleaned, allow me to prepare a snack. Oh, my lovely wife's home cooking. What a lucky man I am. But I'm filled with motivation today, so why don't I whip up something instead? Stay! Stay? You've done plenty already. Really, a lot. Too much, even. So leave the rest to me, please. Stay! How he's like, oh! I'm sure it wouldn't turn into a biohazard like when Van Helsing cooks. But seeing him so eager gives me bad flashbacks. Spacey, judging from your reactions, it would seem that you doubt my culinary skills as well, I can't deny it. You're playing directly into my hands, then. What do you mean? Surely the Sherlock Holmes can cook. You've surely thought that before. And then I'm feigning being inept at housework because I'm so delighted that you're devoting yourself to me. So what is it, really? And the truth is in your heart. It's a response completely inadequate from a great detective. I've only recently realized that Sholmes is surprisingly competitive. Or perhaps it's more accurate to say that he's surprisingly childish. Anyway, allow me to cook today. You can help me next time. We're never going to eat again! Are you going to? No, there will never be a next time. We are going to die of starvation because I will never cook. She's like, maybe he'll forget about it. Responding with a wry laugh, I put on my poison-resistant cooking gloves and make for the kitchen. My past self wouldn't have even dreamed of cooking. My deadly hands could easily take a person's life from a simple touch. I can't touch anyone with these hands, let alone prepare for someone. I always thought it impossible. Well, here's the thing that I don't understand. Okay, so I get it. Like, if she touches him, he's gonna melt. She touches wouldn't the food melt before you, I touched the food, and then it would be a mushy, melted pile by the time it got to someone. They wouldn't have a chance to eat it and die. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you touched it and poisoned it, the food would literally have melted, just like if I touch a brick, it melts. I touch fruit, it melts. So, it's not like, oh, I touched this strawberry and I hand it to you and then you eat it and then you die of poison, because by the time I handed you the strawberry, you'd be like, this is a mushy pile of glop. You're like, I'm not touching that. It looks mildew. It's like, ah! Like, think about it when you open strawberries and there's that one that's, rotten and mushy. You're like, that's basically what it would look like. Like, you'd willingly take that from someone. You'd be like, no, you're trying to kill me. Like, that's fucking poisoned. You know? Anyway. But now, the reason why I stand in the kitchen like this, I suppose I must concede then, I shall wait patiently for your cooking, is probably because it makes me so happy to see him smile. That said, what shall I make? First, I'll warm up the oven. Just as I'm pondering things, a knocking sound announces the arrival of a guest. Pardon me. No idea who's we're pardoning, but... Ah! Van Helsing! I love you so much. I can't help it. I love Van Helsing. He's my precious. Anyway. So it was... Pardon me. I can't. I'm so happy seeing him that I can't do his voice with a smile on my face. It hurts. It's like hard. I gotta get into like... Look at how precious he... Oh, look at his face. I love it. Anyway. It's been quite some time, Spacey. You as well, Herlock Sholmes. It's good to see you, Van Helsing. But didn't you say that you were still recovering? Are you sure you're well? The malice of the crime king, James Moriarty. Not only did it involve London, but the entire United Kingdom. Surely tens, perhaps even hundreds, fell victim to that malice. He, Abraham Van Helsing, was undoubtedly one of his biggest victims. Oh, right, Moriarty, who sought people similar to him, murdered Van Helsing's family and exploited his resulting wrath. Van Helsing was manipulated at will by planting the... Manipulated at will. Van Helsing... Oh. Okay, you know what it is? For some reason, I read that fine, but in my brain, I was like... Because I'm seeing Alistair in the background, and I'm like, he wasn't manipulated at will. He was manipulating people. Because I read it right, but my vision saw Moriarty, and I was thinking that I read Moriarty instead of Van Helsing. Oh, yeah, anyway. Van Helsing was manipulated at will by planting the forged will of revenge into his subconscious. Upon discovering that the mastermind behind it all was his trusted friend, he fell into shock. And so, until quite recently, he should have been continuing his recovery at St. Germain's mansion under the care of Delhi, but... Look at how sweet his face is! It melts my heart. It's like, oh! You were so angry and grumpy, and look how precious your face is when it lights up. It's like, oh! I love it. Anyway. You make it sound like I'm coming apart at the seams. A mental state aside, I'm perfectly fine physically. I've grown tired of listening to Delacroix lecture me all day long. He smirks as he says so, and he somehow looks calmer than before. That calm expression feels like a load off my shoulders. All right, I'm glad you seem to be doing better. I love you. What? Oh, thanks to you, of course. I've already seen Watson, but I really wanted to apologize to you two with regards to that incident. It's nothing that a simple apology can fix, but I'm sorry. Van Helsing closes his eyes and bows his head. It surprises me to see him like this. No, there's no need for apologies, Van Helsing. In a sense, you're the one who suffered the most from the incident. Just because I was a victim doesn't make it all right to turn others into victims as well. I'm quite relieved that Watson made it out of that battle alive. I kind of forget what happened. Like, what? Anyway, well, I mean, like, I know Van Helsing tried to kill us, you know, but I don't remember him trying to kill Watson, but okay, sure. It's too long. It was too long ago that I played that game. Van Helsing nods meekly and offers a wrapped object he's been holding. It's hardly a worthy apology, but please at least accept this gift. I'll accept your love. Is it your heart? Is it your love? Your undying love? Because I'll take it. God, he's so fucking pretty. Why? Anyway, what's this? Cookies that I made myself. Oh, you're trying to kill us. You're like, were you trying to apologize or murder us? I really wish someone would say shit like that to him. I see, this is why I could not be a heroine in an Otome game, because I'd be like, oh, okay, great. No, really, me would be like, are you trying to thank us or kill us? The fuck, bro? The hell? You'd be like, what am I doing? You're like, look, I love you, and I'd hug him, and it's okay, and I'd pet him. It's okay. It's okay, honey, but Jesus, don't fucking cook. You suck at this shit. Like, and this is why I'm single. Also, I don't fall down hills. And like, I fell off a cliff! Oh no! I can walk straight most of the time. Seriously. handmade by Van Helsing. The moment I accept it from him, my arm drops down as though I'm holding a heavy object. Undoubtedly, they're quite unlike the cookies I know. Cookies. Indeed. They're a little burnt, but I'm quite pleased with the flavor. Please enjoy them at your leisure. I just wanted to drop those off here. I'll be sure to come by again soon. Did you see the demonic look on his face? Like, it's just his eyes disappear. He's like, please enjoy the cookies. We could murder someone with these. I'll try one once I have Watson analyze the ingredients. Van Helsing puts his hand on the entrance door. Then he turns back to us. Even now, after everything's ended, there's one thing I just can't understand. Alistair Moriarty, what did he want, really, in the end? I can't say. That's something you'd need to ask him personally, if you're ever in the Hell area. Putting that aside, don't you have more pressing matters to worry about? Yes, you're right. I'm taking my time thinking about what I'll do next, together with the little king. Van Helsing keeps a composed expression like always. But I've heard from Victor and the others that the treatment for hidden strength takes a very long time and is extremely painful. Hidden strength! A cruel method of drawing out a test subject's potential by way of stimulating trauma. However, this phenomenon can place a heavy burden on the subject's mental state, and in some cases can lead to complete addiction. I mean, I remember that. Like, when they brought it up, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. He tried to kill us and everything. But I don't remember the Moriarty using him against Watson and everything. But, I mean, it would make sense, because he's surely still fighting its side effects. James Moriarty, the most notorious criminal in London's history who spread malevolence, yearning for someone who understood him, driven mad from solitude. The man who engraved fragments of his malice in many people, including Van Helsing, even after death. Cunningly like a spider and persistent like a snake. The venom he spread. I've no doubt that its remnants remain somewhere in the city. Indeed, in that sense, our battle with Moriarty is far from over. Sounds interesting. To expose the malice that he left behind to the light of justice. Surely that's what Sholmes and I, and everyone else, must fight from here on. What? Van Helsing, what did you do to me? You didn't eat one of the cookies, did you? She's like, I ate one of the cookies. It catches me off guard. The sudden pain in my chest forces me to lean against the wall and crumble to the floor. We get so much more, like, plot going on. Like, in the other ones, because they're just, like, quick little after stories. But this one, we get, like, an actual plot line. And Finn is like, we have to save the world again. And I feel like this is, like, we're going to have to do that in this one. Interesting. I like it. Anyway. The malice carved into my chest. The curse that someone left there. It begins to pulsate painfully as though I'm tearing into it. Spacey. I can hear Sholmes from afar. Something begins to flow across my entire body. I remember this. This feeling, this pain. This fear of my body being recreated. Indeed, this is... Man, not even a warning, it's just BAM! Dead. The sensation of my poison blossoming once more. Oh. We know she's going to be fine, because otherwise that would suck. Could you imagine the end she's dead, he kills her? The hell? It should have ended. Everything I thought had ended. On that night 6 months ago on the roof of Buckingham Palace, the crime king, Sholmes' longtime arch-nemesis, had taken his own life. And we, who saw through his trap in exchange for his life, were supposed to have procured our futures. So, why then? Why am I having a dream like this now? I don't know. Is it supposed to be Moriarty saying that to us? Someone's saying, time's up, Spacey. It was time's up, Spacey. Did you enjoy your transient peace before awakening as a monster once more? I can't do his voice. I don't know what happened. Anyway. Moriarty? My question becomes faint, the words not quite forming. He watches me, amused, as I struggle amidst my suffocation. I thought you died. Do you suppose I'm a ghost? I've been called worse. It's strange for me to say this myself, but this is little more than a senseless dream. It is the image of myself that you created in your head out of your fear of not understanding me. You could say that this unexpected encounter is your own introspection. You're like, wow, I am just amazingly self-aware that I could be telling myself that this is all just in my imagination. Usually you don't do that. Then I suppose I have a pretty impressive imagination. The man who smirks before my eyes looks so similar to a real person that it quite frankly irks me. I never thought you'd visit me in a dream like this. You must really enjoy torturing us. Are you referring to the Horologium's resurrection? I can't claim responsibility for that one, though I can't blame you for suspecting me. To be pushed off a cliff just after a glimmer of hope is a scenario much to my liking. Bird. Glaring at me won't do you any good. Short a window as it was, you were given ample time. It's all your fault, then, for not being able to find a cure in that time. It's simply unfair to Director Egger and me. His amused laughter booms, and he stares intently at my face. Bird. His creepy eyes are reminiscent of a snake watching its prey grow slowly weaker. Bird! Stop! So, what will you do next? The symbolist method is precisely what I proposed before. If you die, its evolution will cease. A quick and simple conclusion. Bird, what? Stop! Stop shrieking. I can't do that. I would have ended everything back on the rooftop back then if so. But Sholmes told me that it's fine to live on. He told me that it's fine for me to love someone even if I'm like this. So I decided to live, and I still intend to fight tooth and nail until the very end. Well, this is the very end. How very human of you. Goodness, how aggravating. Fine then. I have an alternative measure. An alternative? He flashes a smile eerily similar to that of the real Alistair. Leave this city. Immediately. No doubt this choice isn't ideal, but it's better than the alternative. Consider it. The worst conclusion would be your poison being released all throughout London. But if, say, you were to reach your awakening in a sleepy, remote location, then the damage would be minimized. That's... I can't object. No matter how distorted with malice it may be, no matter how the words tear at me, what he proposes is by no means wrong. You wouldn't kill Holmes or Professor Watson, nor the city of London you hold so dear. Holmes won't have to bear another sin by killing you whom he holds so dear. You need only endure, and die in solitude with no one to mourn you at your deathbed. Hey, you know what? That's just the story of my life. Wouldn't you say that this is the happiest of ends, when nobody gets hurt? So she's gonna run off, and Holmes is gonna go with her, and I'll die with you, Spacey. I mean, because what if you were like, I'm gonna run away, and he's like, yeah, it's been real. Good luck with that. Okay, bye. Don't worry, I'll move on. What a dick. Of course he's not gonna say that. The darkness that shrouds my eyes begins to slowly tear. I awaken upon hearing those venomous words. Is the tear that rolls down my cheek from the pain, the suffering I endured? Or from my sheer frustration? I can't quite tell. Was she saying tear? Because tear and tear are the same. You know what I mean? But like, the darkness that shrouds my eyes begins to slowly tear. That doesn't make any sense either darkness tearing makes more sense than darkness tearing. I don't know. That just, you know what I mean? I was like, I was gonna read tear, then I'm like, it can't be tear. It's gonna be tear. It's the problem with words that are spelled exactly the same. Sometimes neither one of them makes fucking sense. Anyway, I can't quite tell. Neither can I. Spacey, Sholmes, Watson, and Victor. You're awake, young lady. Are you in pain? Stop calling me young lady. God, sounds creepy. Is you're so precious, but my head feels a little heavy. It's like he's not any old. He's not much older than us, but he acts like he's like 40, young lady, and we're like fucking 13. Jesus. I try to maintain my consciousness as I shake my head, trying to rid my brain of its paralysis. My body is heavy and my chest feels tight. Every time I move, a sharp pain shoots through me. My vision is cloudy and I can hardly form a clear thought. Are you feeling more awake now? Any idea what happened? Yes, I'm starting to remember now. As my memories return to me, I become as pale as a ghost. This horrific feeling threatens to eat through me and overflow at any moment. I tremble at this dreadful sensation that I'll never be able to forget. Is it the horologium? It is. I measured the strength of the poison while you were out of it. It's almost 3 times higher than the last time we measured. It's proof that the horologium is starting to become active. Aww. Uh, so it is. I'm not as surprised as I thought I'd be. I knew this moment would come one day. I just didn't think it would be today. Why now? Professor Stein, what's the status of the antidote you've been researching? The base is complete, however, it's far from perfect. If we were to stimulate the horologium's transformation, it would take at least a year to finish the antidote, if we're lucky. Assuming the toxin increase at a constant rate, she'll probably be able to repress it for roughly 5 days. So, no matter how we look at it, the poison will overflow sooner than we can cure it. It's like there's nothing more we can do. Such is the atmosphere in the room. A silence falls over us that even the ever-cheerful Watson can't break. A minute, maybe even 2 minutes pass. Not a single person speaks. The first person who does speak, in the end, is Watson. Well, we're not going to get anywhere just by standing here in silence. We just don't have time to waste right now. Throwing in the towel is out of the question, so the only thing we can do now is struggle on, right? Yes, you're right. We just have to do our best to expedite the development of the medicine, even if by a day or even an hour. Right. Come on, young lady, don't look so glum. It'd be a shame to waste that cute face of yours. Like I said, we're gonna find a solution no matter what it takes. You're right. I made a promise to give you and Victor thank you kisses when the medicine is complete. Hold on now. Those two. Surely I can't just pretend I didn't hear those words. I'm innocent. It was Watson who suggested that. The atmosphere loosens a little. Forcing myself to smile, I feel a newfound determination welling up within me. They're right. It's too early to give up. For better or worse, neither of my teachers, detective nor thief, taught me to give up. Then, what can I do? I'll help however I can, experiments or research or otherwise. Oh, right. What should we do, Holmes? Well, I'll leave that up to you. All right then, young lady. Oh, why don't you go fetch some of your friends from the mansion? We're gonna need as much help as we can get. Got it. I'll go as quickly as possible. You're gonna send me out? I'm the injured one! I'm like, okay. Hobbling. My body. Then let me come with you. Hold it, Victor. You're staying here. We don't have much time, so give me a hand here. Huh? Oh, right. Watching from the corner of my eye as Watson pushes Flask toward Victor, I hurry outside. Once Spacey leaves the clinic, it takes on an entirely different atmosphere. And this time, the one who breaks the silence is Victor, with a puzzled expression. Why did you stop me, Watson? She's physically unstable. Someone should go with her. I don't disagree, but the one who should be the first candidate to go with her seemed to be acting kind of odd. Holmes, you got something you can't talk about while the young lady's around, huh? What makes you say that? How long do you think we've been friends, you damn fool? I can tell from a mile when you're hiding something. Sholmes, silent up till now, raises his head with a dry laugh. Watson stabs his finger into his chest with a smile. In the past, because I didn't confront you, I almost lost something dear to me for a second time. So don't think for a second that I'm gonna let you off the hook here. Tell me, something's going on, right? For a moment, he's taken aback by Watson's words. Try as he might, he couldn't quite form his response for several moments. Truly, I don't stand a chance against you, Watson. Sholmes removes a small bottle filled with a shining liquid from a pocket. Would you like to take a look? Is this medicine? No way! Can you get rid of the young lady's poison with this? Would that if it were only that simple. As sadly, in this world, things rarely are. It's no antidote. Frankly, it's closer to a poison than a medicine. But as you doctors are surely aware, a poison used correctly can often act as a medicine. I knew it when he gave it to us and he was I'm like, it's a poison, it's to kill us. It's like, just in case. The fast pace of footsteps echo along the stone pavement of the city streets. Hurrying to the mansion, I look around. In contrast to the panic and nervousness I feel, the city is calm and peaceful. The people passing by are cheerful, filled with happiness and joy. It's hard to believe that only 6 months ago, the city was on the verge of destruction. No, even now it's on the verge of destruction. The bakery that serves delicious loaves of bread calls out, advertising their goods. From the plaza, the laughing voices of children. All such peaceful scenes, but once the poison starts overflowing, all will be lost. Leave the city immediately. In the past, I'd have almost certainly chosen that path. I'd hop on a train at this nearby station, and then in some remote part of the island where nobody lived, I'd hold my knees as I awaited my end, regretting to have ever loved someone, just as Father warned. However, I'm not about to choose that now. Father, I think I've become a bit more selfish than I was in the past. Oh, that's why, back then, even though I knew I'd cause him great pain and harm, I couldn't let go of his hand when he reached out to me. That's why, back then, despite knowing that I'd bring an ever-present danger to London, I couldn't choose to take my own life. There's no doubt in my mind that it's all because I've learned the joy of living with the person I love. I want to know more of the warmth of the person I love. I want to live. Right after I mumbled to myself, hit by a cab. Oh. Deep in the back alley, from a manhole with its lid ajar, a mournful sound can be heard. Oh no, it's not the sound of flowing sewage, nor the sound of the murky air. Is that someone's voice? But I don't expect many people would be inside a sewer. If so, they'd probably be a criminal or some sort of social pariah. I was just like, she's like, who would be in a sewer? And I was like, nope, Jack the Ripper. But okay, so that did happen. And then it couldn't be. That's just not possible. That's true. That wasn't Sholmes' route because Watson was the one who saved us. And it was the first time we saw Watson. And you're like, why can't we marry him? Why don't we have... Anyway. Jack the Ripper was undoubtedly caught by Sholmes himself. But what I heard was definitely the cry of someone driven into a corner. Should I go back and let Sholmes and the others know? But if there were a criminal like Jack hiding away in the sewers again, if that was a victim's scream, this situation calls for prompt action. I have no choice. Oh dear God, this is bad. Praying that someone will notice, I leave my handkerchief at the entrance of the alleyway. Then I throw myself into the darkness of the sewer. Landing on a wet path where the water trickles, I grimace as I look around. The putrid smell that lingers in your nose no matter how much you're exposed to it. I can't help but recall the incident from before. No, I'll be fine. It's not like back then. This time I made sure of my escape route, not to mention watching my surroundings. Plus, I'm filled with lots of poison. My poison's 3 times stronger, so glove off, slap in the face. It's fine. It'll be nothing like last time. Oh, God. And so, making use of everything I've learned since then, I begin my search. Oh, God. An offering? Give to me. An offering. I quickly stumble upon the abnormality. Oh, little girl. I'm not a little girl. Oh! When it said, I'm not even kidding, when I got little girl, when I got that, I was like, that's such a Nemo sound, but I can't, it's not. It's fucking Nemo. Motherfucker. Little girl! Offer to me the genius calories! Ah! Blur! A single strike with all my weight behind it jabs into the stomach of my assailant, who jumps out at me. It was quite the nice punch. Van Helsing's like, Shaking the image of Van Helsing flashing me thumbs up and a big grin, I peer closely into the dimly lit corridor. I'm hungry. Falling face first into the sewage is a scientist whom I've seen before. Eccentric attire, distinctive goggles, and most distinctive of all, that booming voice that one can't possibly ignore. Indeed, I believe I met him at the airship race, and his name is Mo? No! My name is Nemo! The genius scientist favored by the god of science, Nemo! Did I not tell you as such before? The Mo part of your name is simply what leaves the biggest impression. I think Mo fits him quite well, but apparently he disagrees. A few moments pass after I punched him. The self-proclaimed scientist stands up before me, shaking his head. Deplorable! Simply deplorable! Barbarians like you contribute nothing to science! However, from the depths of my heart that dwarfs the very sky, I shall forgive your transgressions for your generous offering of cookies. This unique flavor is like a boot to my head and a snake bite to my tongue. I overflow with inspiration. You're welcome? Thank God we still had the Van Helsing cookies. Listening to him, it seems he's gone without a proper meal for quite a while. Watching as the scientist frantically stuffs his mouth with the cookies made by the culinary weapon we know so well, I throw out my biggest question. So, what brings you here, Nemo? Ho ho! So you want to hear my tale? Your intellectual curiosity got the best of you, did it not? No, Spacey, just leave. This was not necessary. Look, Pat's Nemo on head. It's okay, Nemo. Pat's Nemo on head. We can, although, it's a shame that we did the Nemo-Alistair route, because, here's the thing, right? So, if I had thought about it properly, or if I had known what was going to happen in this one, actually, the Nemo-Alistair one would have been good to do after this one. Or we did his route first, and then we did but, I didn't know, so I just wanted to get that one out of the way. But that one would have been a good one to do after this, because, Deli and Cece, doesn't really apply. Doesn't really apply to the Finis route either, but whatever. I mean, that one had Watson, and so that was a good transition between these two, from Finis to here, but there really is no good transition from this one to Cantarella, so whatever. The reason I'm here is a tale of grandeur that will inspire tears in both the audience and myself. Give me the short version. It's because this is my secret base. My home. Your home? Yeah, your face is my face. Her face. We're all the. Ugh. Yummy. I glance around. I only just now realize it, but in the corner of the dim sewer is a construct of some sort. Are you referring to that?
Indeed, that is the revolutionary portable home that utilizes the new material I've invented.
This is great.
The cardboard house.
Oh, he lives in a box in the sewer. Oh, cardboard. A paper product reinforced by overlapping corrugated paperboards. Historically, it was invented as an interior material for silk hats in 1856, but in this game's story, it was Nemo who invented it. For a house. From here, Nemo's story takes a long-winded detour, so allow me to give a summary. Basically, Nemo suddenly lost contact with the organization that had been funding his research. Losing his livelihood, his lab, everything, he had no choice but to take shelter here.
I was making a small profit from this cardboard as reinforcements for hats at first, but it makes for a surprisingly warm material. With a spark of ingenuity, I decided to construct a house.
At any rate, I fully understand that you've been having a difficult time. But what should I do? There's no time to waste chatting in the sewer, but just leaving him here would gnaw at my conscience. Snapping me out of my indecision is a sudden and unexpected question.
By the way, the gem in your chest, that's the horologium, is it not? Never would I have expected to meet face to face with the fruits of Professor Isaac's research.
I read that. Whatever. It's Nemo. It doesn't matter how badly you say things.
And by my estimation, it will soon reach its critical state. Truly marvelous.
How do you know about the horologium? You know about Father, too?
Indeed, quite naturally I do. I was, after all, the professor's #1 pupil. There was so much research I wanted to conduct if I had obtained the horologium. And now, the chance of a lifetime is dangling before me. But alas, no money, no equipment, no hope. Wah! Life truly, sincerely never goes as planned. Boo-hoo! Boo-hoo!
In this enclosed environment, my eardrums hurt by at least 30% more than before. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to deal with Nemo's wailing, but if he's Father's pupil, then perhaps... Gambling on a glimmer of hope, I speak to him cautiously. Nemo, are you familiar with the horologium?
Am I familiar with the horologium, you ask? Without a doubt, surely, naturally, I am confident that my detailed knowledge is second only to that of the professor. And so, if you'd like to hear what I have to say, you will let me see it.
Look at his tongue hanging out my chest. Keep it in your pants, Nemo. All right. Although I feel intensely uncomfortable, I swallow my pride and expose the crystal in my chest. And then, you don't have to show me your boobies, you're just showing the upper part of your chest, but still, it's, inappropriate.
Beautiful. Indeed, this light surely represents the morning star of science.
A serious, intent look on his face that betrays his manner of speech, Nemo studies the horologium carefully. What I'd like to ask is if there's a way to nullify it. At this rate, the horologium will spiral out of control and spread its poison to everything around it. So I was wondering if there's a way to stop it.
The easiest way would be if you died, I believe.
Preferably a method that doesn't kill me.
Then, I suppose there's a way if there's time. For instance, stimulating it to transform into a different material, or perhaps altering the efficiency of its energy conversion. However, in the state where it quickly approaches its critical point, that would prove futile, and, furthermore, futile! Perhaps it would be doable in the long term, but a method with which to resolve this problem in the short term seems quite unlikely.
I figured I wouldn't find a magic bullet solution, of course, but being told such by a supposed horologium expert really drives the hopelessness home. Nemo was honest and blunt, with no regard for my consideration. But it's easy to imagine that Victor and Watson were evading their answers for my sake and will arrive at a similar conclusion.
But alas, what a pity it is! Truly a pity! If only I had the necessary research equipment.
Nemo stares into my chest with glee, and then, drowning out his mumbles, the rapid pattering of shoes echo through the corridor until...
Let her go!
The figure that jumps out strikes Nemo's chin with a palm strike at incredible speed. Sholmes? Paying no heed to Nemo, who flips through the air and falls face first, Sholmes rushes to me. Are you alright, Spacey? Oh, what happened? What did he do to you? Calm down, Sholmes. I'm fine. I'm just showing my chest to him. 'Cause he asked. So naive and innocent. This is fine to cover up my chest. Doing my best to calm him down, his detective-like composure slowly returns. You just button your shirt back up. It's not like you took your shirt off. Observing the twitching Nemo and squinting his eyes at me and the surroundings, Sholmes scratches his cheek and mumbles in a rather awkward tone. So, I can speculate a fair bit here, but would you mind telling me what happened here? Alright, we'll just keep going.
Every one of you! Just one after the next! What do you make of the brain of the super genius whose light illuminates the darkness of science?
No, I'd like to take the opportunity to make a proper apology. I'm sorry about that, Nemo. It seems there was a rather unfortunate misunderstanding. I'm delighted that Sholmes was so concerned about me, but I'm not quite convinced that a brief apology makes up for that blow to the face. I continue to feign ignorance. Sholmes's arms are crossed as though he's deep in thought. Well, I suppose this is a fortuitous encounter. Personality aside, I can't believe we've stumbled upon a scientist who knows the ins and outs of the horologium at a time like this. Closing his eyes for a while, Sholmes nods and faces Nemo once more. Nemo, there's one thing I'd like to confirm. Is what you were saying true? That if you had access to a proper facility, you could then conduct research on the horologium.
Oh, but of course! But of course! Researching the horologium, after all, is my greatest wish.
So, given that opportunity, there's a chance you'd cooperate with us. As if probing his ulterior motive, Nemo quietly stares, his eyes sparkling behind his goggles. And then, with an unexpectedly calm tone, he gazes at us intently.
I don't know what you're trying to make me do, but even for a genius like me, it would be an impossibility to remove the toxins of horologium immediately.
So it's hopeless?
Indeed! It would be most upsetting to get your hopes up only to be crushed. And so, allow me to assert. If you want to stop the poison, there's no other choice but to die and have the horologium shatter.
I thought I had already understood this, but having it reiterated by someone else like this makes me feel like I'm about to be crushed under the weight of reality. However, that's quite the unscientific statement, Nemo. Sholmes smirks and pulls me in close, his arms around my shoulders.
You? What did you just say?
I can't do this.
Do you truly tell me, the divine scientific genius, that I'm unscientific?
Yes. Is that not true? You've hardly considered all possibilities, and yet you declare it an impossibility. And that's no scientific method I've ever heard of. That's him, literally, that's his brain melting. Sholmes must have really struck a nerve. Along with a scream that's impossible to transcribe, he spasms and his mouth foams. Bending nearly full backwards, Nemo forces out his words.
Then, are you implying that this I'm assuming that's supposed to say some other method.
In a sense, yes. But in another sense, no. But yes, you're right, Nemo. Your conclusion isn't necessarily wrong either. Leaving him with those words, Sholmes turns to face me. Then he leans forward and looks into my eyes. Were you listening, Spacey? And to be honest, things are looking grim. At this rate, before even a week passes, you'll be leaving the city. I know, but I don't want to give up. I shake my head to the detective's words, even though I was told that there's no other way. For me to insist that I'm not giving up might just be my own selfishness. But even so, I can't possibly accept it. The feeling that the one most dear to me taught me, this feeling of wanting to live on. I don't want to kill, and I don't want to die. From here on, forever, I want to be smiling beside you. Staring at my tear-filled eyes, Sholmes gently embraces me. And then, whispering beside my ear, I see. And then there's only one solution I can think of. Then he says quietly, Spacey, you will have to die. And if I die and then you could resurrect me? If I die and then you like bring me back to life. I get it. I see how we gonna do this. Maybe. Okay, anyway. But anyway, we're gonna wrap this part up here because we're over time. So anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.